I was serving in Vietnam at the time, the Marine and Naval Attaché at our embassy in Hanoi, and I'd been there about a year, and I'd been exposed to a lot of things. I'd seen a lot of things, but there was one particular occasion where I had the opportunity to see some dogs that were on their way to essentially become someone's meal at a restaurant, and I'd had a moment of I guess a connection with one of the dogs. You know, when your eyes meet somebody else's eyes, and it doesn't matter if it's a human or an animal, but you get that connection. Well, I had that connection, and I could feel, almost sense the desperation, you know, I mean, really empathy when you know what that other creature is feeling. And there was some desperation and some terror there. And I wanted to do something to stop it, but quite frankly, I just didn't have the courage at the time, the fortitude to step up and make a quick decision. And the more I pondered it and wrestled with it, I lost time, and eventually I couldn't make that decision because the motorcycle on which these dogs were traveling was gone. And later that day in a restaurant, I happened to see a dog being prepared for butchering to be cooked up for the evening meal. And at that moment, I had this transformative experience where suddenly it just went very clear for me. Night turned to day. And I decided at that moment that I was never going to eat another animal again. I still feel a great deal of shame. I know I feel shame for that moment when I didn't act when I could. And you know, I pledged that I would spend the rest of my life doing what I could to make up for that lack of judgment and decisiveness when it really mattered. I mean, do they realize what's at stake here? I mean, it's their kids, you know, it's their children and their children's children. It's our very society. It's the stability of our economy. It's the whole package tied together. And if we're going to be the kind of dads, you know, that we want to be, if we want to be heroes to our sons and daughters, then we have to step up and we have to do something to defend their heritage, what we're going to pass down to them. We have to be there right now to make sure that it's still there for them when their turn comes. I mean, the science tells us there's effects on our water, our environment, our soil. There's effects on the public health and personal health. I mean, there's a whole range of issues associated with animal agriculture. And when you take animal agriculture out of the equation, it helps solve a lot of these issues. It's the only way to solve a lot of these issues. We can continue to put Band-Aids over it, but at the end of the day, if we don't fix our appetites for animal-based foods and fashion, we're heading down the wrong path, and it's just not sustainable. Frankly, when people ask me, you know, why did I make this transition, and I can draw the connections, you know, connect the dots between my principles to stand up for people who can't defend themselves or to defend the exploited, you know, I think they get it. They may not be able to make the connection for themselves yet in terms of their diet and defending those principles, but I think it's a matter of education, it's a matter of familiarity, and it's a matter of mainstreaming the vegan lifestyle. And I think we can do that. I think it makes sense. There's a proverb, an Indian proverb from the Cree Nation that says, only when the last river is poisoned and the last fish is killed will we realize we can't eat money. And that's basically what it comes down to. We transfer somewhere along the way our appreciation and our love of nature for our love of money. And that's unsustainable. We can't eat money. And certainly the future generations won't be able to eat money.